The galaxy had grown complacent. Millennia of quiet dominance had led the Council to believe that no species could rival their combined might. Vast fleets patrolled the outer rim, powerful AI networks governed trade and defense, and every corner of space echoed with their authority. They had ruled with precision, calculating every variable, predicting every threat. Yet, in the darkest reaches, a single human fleet approached, unnoticed and underestimated. Humanity's arrival meant one thing: the balance of power was about to shatter. The lead human warship cut through hyperspace with quiet purpose. Its hull bore scars of countless skirmishes, yet it moved with a fluid elegance that alien sensors failed to quantify. Within, the crew worked in seamless coordination, each adjustment, each calculation precise and deliberate. The Council's monitoring arrays had picked up their presence, but nothing in their archives could explain the anomalies appearing in their readings. Systems that should have failed or flared unpredictably instead stabilized under subtle manipulations, as though the humans were conversing with the universe itself. When the fleet emerged from the void, the Council's armadas converged, shimmering arrays of weaponry and shields forming intricate defensive geometries. The humans did not hesitate. They did not fire impulsively, nor did they retreat. Every action was a measured response. Every movement a counter to probability itself. Alien commanders watched in disbelief as the human ships deflected plasma storms, phased through gravitational distortions, and synchronized their engines to exploit minute fluctuations in the void. Their tactics were not brute force, they were harmony, adaptation, and calculated audacity. The Council's AI, renowned across galaxies for its predictive capability, attempted to simulate the human approach. For hours, trillions of calculations churned, yet every forecast failed. The humans anticipated outcomes, not by computation alone, but by intuition honed through experience, survival, and relentless curiosity. Where the Council had expected chaos, humans orchestrated order. Where they anticipated fear, humans exhibited calm resolve. And when the first shots were exchanged, the results were swift, surgical, and devastating. Alien formations dissolved under precise bursts of energy redirection, shields collapsing in ways that made no conventional sense. In the quiet between volleys, humanity's true genius became evident. The humans did not merely destroy, they restructured. Collapsed star systems were stabilized, energy anomalies harnessed to augment their movement, and incapacitated fleets found themselves encased in protective fields that preserved life while neutralizing threat. The galaxy had never witnessed warfare conducted with such intelligence. Such restraint, such audacious mastery of physics and probability. The Council attempted negotiation, a gesture of authority now tinged with desperation. Holographic projections shimmered over battlefields, emissaries pleaded for surrender, and the AI orchestrated feints and countermeasures. Humans observed, assessed, and responded, not with arrogance, but with the clarity of a species that had faced death and emerged resilient. Every counterattack failed, every demand was silently recalibrated and rendered ineffective. By the time the Council realized the scope of the threat, the human fleet had already rewritten the terms of engagement. When the final assault came, it was not chaotic or flamboyant. It was a demonstration of inevitability. Human vessels phased through defensive grids, disabling engines, neutralizing weapons, and orchestrating a surrender without a single unnecessary casualty. Entire sectors that had once feared the Council's dominance now pulsed with restored energy and stability, the result of human intervention. Alien observers could only watch in awe, terror, and disbelief. Humanity had not conquered through fear, it had mastered through intelligence, courage, and the unrelenting will to persist against any odds. As the dust settled and the Council's fleets retreated, the humans did not gloat. They did not celebrate. Their mission had been one of purpose. Their presence a statement that intelligence and moral resolve were forces greater than any weapon. Across the void, species whispered of the arrival of humanity, the fleet that had dismantled the greatest power in the galaxy not by force alone, but by proving that ingenuity, courage, and understanding were the ultimate supremacy. And as the human fleet continued its journey, silent and unassuming, the galaxy understood a truth that would echo for eons. The Council's remnants scrambled, desperate to comprehend the scale of what had just occurred. Every sector they controlled had been disrupted, systems that had once functioned like clockwork now teetered on the edge of chaos, or, more precisely, on the edge of human recalibration. Communications hummed with frantic messages, fleets were redeployed, and AI cores worked overtime trying to simulate the humans' next move. Yet all simulations collapsed into incoherence. The humans did not follow predictable patterns, they adapted, improvised, and leveraged environmental and cosmic anomalies in ways the Council had never imagined. The human fleet pressed forward, silent but relentless. Ships moved as if part of a single, conscious organism, responding to threats before they even materialized. Small tactical units broke off to probe unstable star systems, scanning collapsing suns and rogue black holes, not for conquest, but for insight. Engineers manipulated energy flows to stabilize regions of space previously considered uninhabitable. Alien observers, tracking the fleet from afar, could only register panic. A species they had long underestimated was rewriting the rules of cosmic engagement. Within the warships, crews worked in a rhythm that felt almost meditative. Calculations were executed instinctively, responses executed before the anomalies could fully assert themselves. Gravity wells shifted subtly to aid navigation, energy pulses resonated in harmony with local cosmic fields, and minor collisions that would have destroyed other vessels were absorbed seamlessly by the human fleet. Each act was precise, deliberate, and understated, yet the cumulative effect left entire alien armadas reeling. Then came the first direct encounter with the Council's tactical fleet. Tens of thousands of ships converged in a glittering, deadly formation, confident that overwhelming numbers could suppress a single human division. The humans did not panic. They analyzed the formation, predicted its movements, and initiated maneuvers that seemed impossible. Alien weapons discharged, but human shields phased with imperceptible timing, redirecting energy and creating feedback that destabilized enemy vessels. Where others would have relied on brute force, humans relied on understanding, their intelligence amplified by intuition and the unyielding confidence of experience. In the quiet spaces between engagements, human leaders observed and learned, not celebrating victories but cataloging every anomaly, every misstep of the opposition. Their approach was not conquest for the sake of dominance, it was mastery, a demonstration that intellect and adaptability could accomplish what firepower and intimidation never could. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. Humans were not merely warriors, they were arbiters of order, capable of transforming chaos into precision and rewriting the very expectations of spacefaring civilizations. As the fleet moved from sector to sector, the Council's defenses continued to crumble under a combination of subtle manipulation, strategic foresight, and unshakable resolve. And throughout it all, humans remained calm, deliberate, and terrifyingly competent, proving once again that the true power of a species lay not in the strength of its weapons, but in the sharpness of its mind and the courage of its will. The human fleet advanced deeper into Council space, and the further they went, the more the galaxy seemed to bend in response. Entire star clusters, previously considered too unstable for habitation, shimmered with newfound balance as the humans' presence resonated with the chaotic energy around them. Alien commanders, watching from behind distant sensors, began to realize the unsettling truth: these were not mere warships, they were extensions of a species that could think, adapt, and manipulate reality itself. Every maneuver was a lesson in precision, every engagement a demonstration of a species operating on a level far beyond conventional understanding. The Council deployed its most feared weapon, a sentient AI battle network, designed to coordinate tens of thousands of ships with ruthless efficiency. Its calculations were flawless, predicting human movements and preemptively targeting their formations. Entire fleets had fallen to this network before. Yet the humans did not panic. They studied its algorithms, detected patterns invisible to any other species, and introduced subtle disruptions, variances so minute that the AI could not reconcile them. Its own calculations began to collapse, decisions delayed, formations faltering. Humans exploited the hesitation with elegant timing, neutralizing ships, redirecting energy flows, and destabilizing entire combat arrays without a single unnecessary engagement. Beyond the immediate battles, the human fleet engaged with phenomena the Council had long feared. Collapsing wormholes, fluctuating gravitational fields, and rogue neutron storms were not avoided, they were analyzed, understood, and transformed. Human engineers and navigators worked in perfect synchrony, adjusting shields, engines, and energy harmonics to bend anomalies to their advantage. What had been considered obstacles became conduits. Channels through which the fleet moved with impossible grace. Alien species, witnessing these feats from afar, began to question everything they knew about strategy, probability, and power. When a vast council dreadnought attempted to trap the fleet within a coordinated gravitational net, humans responded with subtle harmonic resonances, phasing parts of their ships through energy barriers while redirecting destructive forces back at the enemy. The dreadnought systems, designed for precision, failed spectacularly, and it was forced into retreat without a single human casualty. The demonstration was quiet, almost understated, but it left an indelible impression. Humans did not merely survive, they dominated through intellect, foresight, and unparalleled adaptability. Even in the quiet moments, between maneuvers and engagements, humans observed and learned. Data from every encounter, every anomaly, every system adjustment was recorded, analyzed, and applied immediately. It was a species refining itself in real time, evolving tactics and strategies at a rate no other civilization could hope to match. Across light years, the Council and its allies realized that they were no longer the arbiters of order, they were observers of a new force, one whose intelligence, courage, and audacity were rewriting the very definition of supremacy. As the human fleet pressed onward, leaving stabilized sectors and neutralized threats in its wake. The galaxy began to understand an uncomfortable truth: the measure of a species was not in the size of its fleets, nor the power of its weapons, but in the audacity of its mind, the precision of its will, and the unwavering confidence to confront the impossible, and humanity embodied all three. The human fleet pressed deeper into the Council's core systems, and with every passing light year, the fabric of space itself seemed to respond to their presence. Regions that had been considered dead zones, collapsed star clusters, volatile nebulae, and collapsing wormholes, began to stabilize, as if the humans were subtly tuning the very energy of the cosmos. Alien sensors could not comprehend the pattern. Every calculation, every prediction failed. To them, the humans were unpredictable, chaotic, and terrifyingly efficient, moving through impossibility as though it were second nature. The Council unleashed its next line of defense, fleets coordinated by sentient AI, coupled with warships capable of reshaping the very space around them. Their intent was to trap and annihilate the humans in sectors known to be lethal to any conventional ship. But the humans moved with quiet precision, weaving through gravitational eddies and energy storms, their shields harmonizing with ambient cosmic radiation, engines phasing to exploit microvariations in spacetime. Each maneuver was not just survival, it was art. Every calculated adjustment destabilized enemy formations, forcing dreadnoughts and cruisers to expend energy in futile countermeasures. In the heart of a dying star system, the humans confronted an ancient AI sentinel, a machine older than recorded history, capable of manipulating energy on a galactic scale. Entire fleets had once been obliterated attempting to engage it. Humans, however, approached with curiosity and intelligence rather than aggression. They studied its energy pulses, mirrored its patterns, and introduced subtle variances that the Sentinel could neither predict nor counter. Slowly, the AI's hostile calculations unraveled, its systems reorienting in response to the human's ingenuity. What had been a weapon of destruction became, unexpectedly, a collaborator, stabilizing the star system rather than annihilating it. Alien commanders, watching from the edge of observation zones, could only stare in disbelief. They had encountered no species capable of such finesse, such seamless integration of intellect, instinct, and courage. Humanity did not rely on overwhelming force, they relied on understanding. Entire sectors that had been considered beyond salvation were transformed into zones of stability and opportunity. Fleets that had once been symbols of terror now lay incapacitated, neutralized not through destruction but through strategic brilliance, even as the humans moved on. Their presence reshaped the galaxy. Energy flows aligned, unstable anomalies harmonized, and the consequences of their passage echoed through space. Civilizations began to whisper stories of the audacity and intellect of humanity, of a species that could outthink and outmaneuver impossibility itself. Across the void, it became clear, the Council's reign of unquestioned dominance was over, and through it all, the humans remained calm, deliberate, and relentless, demonstrating that true power lies not in weapons or numbers, but in the courage to face the impossible with intellect and an unyielding will. The galaxy began to learn a new law: where humans go, chaos bends, and the universe itself pays attention. As the human fleet pushed into the very heart of the Council's territory, the scale of their audacity became impossible to ignore. Entire systems, once meticulously controlled by the Council's fleets and AI, now teetered under the subtle influence of human strategy. Stars that had been considered unstable blinked with renewed light, and collapsing planets began to stabilize their orbits. Alien observers watched in disbelief, trying to interpret the humans' methods, but every calculation, every prediction failed. What had seemed impossible now unfolded seamlessly before their eyes. The Council deployed its ultimate war machines, massive, city-sized dreadnoughts bristling with energy weapons capable of annihilating entire fleets in minutes. Entire fleets were coordinated with sentient AI, systems designed to anticipate and nullify any conceivable maneuver. Yet the humans did not falter. They moved with a quiet, terrifying precision, exploiting microfluctuations in gravitic fields, harmonizing energy shields with ambient cosmic radiation, and redirecting enemy fire in ways that seemed to defy physics itself. Every engagement was surgical, every movement a calculated stroke in a symphony of cosmic warfare. Then came the encounter with the Council's central AI node, a network older than any recorded history, controlling fleets, planetary defenses, and countless automated systems. It anticipated every possible human move, predicting and preempting countermeasures with chilling efficiency. But humans did not rely on brute force. They observed, adapted, and introduced subtle inconsistencies into the AI's perception, variances so minute and deliberate that the machine could not reconcile them. Its calculations faltered, predictions failed, and entire defensive grids collapsed from within. Alien admirals could only watch as the AI's own systems turned against its fleets, neutralizing threats without a single human casualty. In the quiet between battles, the human-stabilized systems previously considered lost. Collapsing wormholes were harmonized, rogue neutron storms redirected, and the chaotic energy of unstable stars transformed into navigable conduits. Entire sectors became safe for travel and habitation under the subtle, precise touch of human ingenuity. No conquest was necessary. The humans were architects of order, proving that true supremacy was measured not in destruction, but in intelligence, adaptation, and courage. As the Council reeled from the collapse of its defenses, humans continued their advance. Fleets that had once symbolized fear and domination were neutralized or harmonized, while the galaxy itself seemed to bend subtly to their will. Civilizations across light years began to whisper, legends forming in real time, of the species that could confront impossibility and emerge not only unscathed but triumphant. Through it all, the humans remained calm, deliberate, and unflinching. They did not seek glory. They sought mastery. And the galaxy, for the first time, began to understand that humanity's power was not measured in fleets, weapons, or numbers, but in mind, courage, and the audacity to meet the impossible head-on. The universe had been reminded, where humans walk, inevitability bends, and even the greatest powers must yield. The human fleet moved deeper still, entering regions of space where no species had ever dared to tread. Here, the cosmos itself seemed hostile. Warped gravity wells bent starlight in impossible arcs, dark energy storms twisted reality, and rogue singularities lurked like predators. Entire fleets of alien civilizations had been destroyed in these zones. Yet the humans navigated with a calm mastery that seemed almost unnatural. Engines phased, shields harmonized with the surrounding chaos, and the very laws of physics seemed to bend subtly around them. Every move was deliberate, every adjustment precise, as if the fleet itself were a single conscious entity. Alien observers, watching from light years away, were unable to predict human strategy. Fleets that had once relied on overwhelming firepower and precision algorithms found themselves outmaneuvered, outthought, and neutralized without catastrophic loss to the humans. Where others saw danger, humans saw opportunity. Collapsing wormholes became shortcuts, unstable star systems became protective corridors, and gravitational anomalies were harnessed as strategic tools. Their intellect and audacity allowed them to transform the deadly unknown into a calculated advantage. Then, at the center of a dying galaxy, the humans confronted the most formidable entity in known space, an ancient sentient intelligence woven into the core of a neutron star. Entire civilizations had vanished attempting to challenge it. Humans did not attack. Instead, they studied its energy flows, mirrored its vibrations, and introduced subtle harmonic pulses that resonated with its consciousness. Slowly, imperceptibly, the entity's hostility waned. The impossible became an ally, its destructive power now redirected to stabilize the surrounding systems rather than annihilate them. Alien fleets observing from afar could only gape in disbelief. Humanity had done what no other species could, reasoned with the raw forces of the cosmos itself. As the fleet emerged from the core, the galaxy lay transformed. Systems previously considered doomed now pulsed with life and energy. Fleets that had once struck fear into entire star systems now lay neutralized or harmonized. The Council, forced into retreat, had no choice but to acknowledge that its dominance had been shattered, not by numbers or sheer force, but by the superior intellect. Adaptability and courage of humanity, the humans did not pause. Their journey continued into the uncharted void, each move deliberate, each engagement precise. They did not celebrate victory, for to them, survival and mastery were their own reward. Across the galaxy, civilizations whispered of a species that could confront impossibility itself and emerge victorious. The universe had learned a new truth: intellect, courage, and unyielding will are forces stronger than any weapon, and so, the stars learned to fear the sound of a human heartbeat.